People often ask, who was the real George Michael? He did change from Wham being one image and then to Faith album, another image. Nearly every artist does the same thing to some degree. We all have these different personas in our lives, all of us do. And artists just have bigger and more complex ones. You know, who is the real George Michael? I hope the film shows you that.
George Michael!
My name is Simon Napier-Bell. I'm an artist manager, which included managing George Michael and Wham, and many other artists too. When you manage an artist, you are not managing his music, you're managing the person. It's the person, the person, the person. I knew him incredibly well. I mean, you manage someone for 3 years, it's a very intimate relationship. You know a lot about how they react. I knew he was gay. We didn't talk about it, but I knew he was gay. Some of his friends knew he was gay. He told Andrew and the two girls who sang with him he was gay in the middle of the Wham period. Bit by bit, more and more people get to know you're gay when you're gay. He knew he was going to have to come out one day. And then when he did break Wham out and go solo, he didn't do it. And in fact, he fell in the trap even further because he created this image for Faith, which was even more of a macho image. And so instead of losing the pressure, he now had this enormous pressure of being an even more macho image. And he knew one day his cover would get blown, it would end. We would start arguing. I would say to him, that's not the thing to do. I mean, I couldn't have managed him successfully with Faith to the degree which his American managers did, because I would have seen how depressed and miserable he was getting, and I wouldn't have allowed it to happen. Even though in a way he wanted it to happen. It was a price he was prepared to pay for the success he was getting. And at the end of 2 years Faith tour, he was really in a very bad way. I could quite understand why he didn't. I mean, in the 80s, for pop stars to say they're gay is like losing their audience, losing everything. A very, very difficult decision. The record labels were afraid the public wouldn't buy the records. But the public don't care. The stigma was the record labels. And he wanted that fame and he wanted to sell those records. And I suppose in a way he's saying, look, if I have $50 million in the bank, I can do what I want the rest of my life. So let me get that far and then I'll come out. He refused to come out to journalists. He didn't want to give them the kudos of saying, I've got the big news. And we always knew it anyway, and all those snide remarks. And so in a way, he played this game until he got caught, and then it was done, finished. Then he was out to everybody, including the media. He admitted later, it wasn't deliberate, like, let's go there and get caught, but he knew that was a toilet where gay people went and where police sometimes entrapped people. He knew it was a dangerous place to go, and he was playing a game, really. And then he enjoyed turning it around. He loved to play difficult games, and then when they went wrong, show that he could benefit from having done them even though they'd gone wrong. And that was something he liked doing. Some of the finest songs ever written in the world were written by gay writers in a way which they had to find a way of saying what they were saying without expressing their gayness. Their lyrics were amazing because they were finding ways of saying things without actually overtly saying they were gay. Once you're out, it's a bit more difficult. You've now got to make your songs interesting to people who are not the way you are. So you have to explain about your affection or attraction to people of the same sex in a way which is so honest and so moving that people who don't have that inclination still will follow you. You're appealing to their humanity rather than to their sexuality, aren't they?